Hey guys, it's LaDawn Blackett Jones, the owner of the LBJ Law Group, Georgia's only holistic law firm. And today I'm going to talk about how to get a pardon in the state of Georgia. My holistic law firm is built on the premise that if people know better, they do better. I like to give information to my clients and to people all over Georgia that can help improve their lives. And so this very short video should be shared with anybody you know that has been convicted of a crime in Georgia and they've been considering wanting to do something about their background. So first, let's talk about what is a pardon. A pardon is a special designation that determines that your record or your previous conviction won't be cleared, but it will have a special designation on your criminal history form. So I've worked both as a prosecutor and a criminal defense attorney. And whenever we go to court, one of the first things that the court looks at, that the prosecutor looks at, is what does your criminal record say? And when there is something that has been in your past that has been dismissed or expunged, we see it. It doesn't go anywhere, but we can't use it against you in court. Well, pardon works the same way. If you are pardoned for a crime, that designation makes it so that can't be used against you. But more importantly, what people report is by having a pardon, you're able to get better employment opportunities, better housing opportunities, because it means that the state of Georgia has looked at your past and certified that whatever happened 5+ years ago is over, done with, and you have officially paid your debt to society, and that goes on your record. And for some people in some circumstances, that is really important. What I found recently when I sat on a panel of other law enforcement and legal professionals is that not nearly enough people exercise this ability to get a pardon. Not many of them are filling out the application. Now, at the end of this video, I'm going to go through very carefully, step by step, what goes into the application. And when you see how easy it is going to be difficult to understand why no one fills out this application. Now, let me answer some of the other basic questions. Is there a fee to apply? No, $0 and 0 cents. Now, there's a caveat to that. To apply for your pardon, you do have to include a recent copy, and by recent, it has to be within 30 days of your application, a recent copy of your Georgia criminal history. And so you can get that from any police department, sheriff's departments. You go downtown, wherever you live in Georgia, and request your GCIC. They range from $15 to $25 max. That's it. You take that GCIC, you attach it to your application, as well as some other small paperwork requirements, and you send that in. That is the only cost, and the cost of a stamp, because you want to make sure that it gets there. So I would put extra stamps on there if I were you. You are eligible, as I mentioned, to apply for a pardon after you have been off of papers, as we call it, for 5 years. No probation, no parole, anything of the sort. So let's go through this application. The application is so simple that you're going to wonder, why did I not do this before? Now, to get this application, you want to go to the Georgia Board of Pardon and Parole's website. It is on the web. You can Google it. It will pop right up. Look for the pardon application, and it has some frequently asked questions and other things there that you can use to help navigate through this. So this same application is used for 3 different types of processes. One is the pardon. The other is to restore your firearm rights. And the third option is for you to restore your civil rights, and that's for people who want to become notaries, people who have been convicted and they want to run for public office, or they want to serve on a jury. You get your rights restored through this application. In 2013, the application increased. When I used to do these for clients, it was a half-page application. It is now turned to 11 pages, but do not let that intimidate you. That's exactly why I'm doing this video. People probably think requesting a pardon is a difficult thing. The application is hard, but it's not. It's so easy that you should be mad at yourself if you haven't done it. So let's walk through this very simply. So the first page is as simple as it wants to be. You want to check that you're trying to get a pardon and you're not trying to get your firearm rights restored or anything else of the sort. And then from there, you're going to fill out some very basic biographical information that you know, I'm sure, on the top of your head. Where do you live? What is your address? What is your social security number? All the other pertinent biographical information. You want to make sure that your cell phone and your address is one that you know you can get. Preferable that you do not use a P.O. box. You need to use a physical address where you can get this in the mail. Now, these applications take anywhere from 6 to 9 months to process. So you want to make sure that you get an application that will, you want to use an address that you know that you're going to be able to get the mail from in 6 to 9 months, right? Because you want to know what the answer is. Often there are times if there are things missing from your application that they'll send you back a letter and say, hey, you need to send this in. So you want to also have that application, the address, so that you can get the application information back. Page 2 is super simple. This is more demographic information. Who do you live with? Who else lives in your home? Do you have minor children? Are you married? If you've been married before, what are the names of your previous spouses? Where did you get married? And you have to list the full address for any place that you've lived in the last 10 years. Now for that and for all other things, you can always add additional paper. So if you live 15 places in 10 years, get a sheet of paper and list the same information about where you live, how long you lived there, and what the full address is. Now I will tell you, when it says address, if you don't remember the zip code, you don't remember the street number, go online, Google it, and make sure that you put the correct information. The next page asks for your education information. They want to know the last grade you've completed, what schools you went to, whether it was technical college, high school. They want to know the year of graduation and if you obtained a degree. Now, I don't want you to get intimidated by this. When you see education, you say, well, listen, I didn't go to college. That does not have anything to do with whether or not you will get a pardon. What that does is give them information to say what you've been doing. What were you doing before you were convicted? What have you done after you've gotten convicted? And they also have a source of information to check and verify that all of these things are true. The last thing, and I think also a lot of this information is for demographic purposes. They want to know how many people they're giving pardons to, whether they're college graduates, how many people are applying, are they high school graduates? That's why that information is important. They want to know if you have military service, and ask if you have been dishonorably discharged. That is information they can find out. You want to be truthful on that and every other portion of this application. On page 4, it asks for employment, and it has several spaces for you to list all the people that you have worked for, and you can attach additional paperwork to it. You can also attach your current pay stubs, W-2s, so if you want to show your current employer, and basic information, address, phone number, the supervisor's name, and the reason for leaving. And that's just like any other job application that you have. You want to again put the full address, full phone number. Take a moment. If you had a great supervisor, maybe you work somewhere that's no longer open, track them down online, look them up on social media. Make sure that there's somebody that they can call and verify, because if they start going down your list, they can't get in touch with your ex-spouse, they can't get in touch with your former employer, they're probably not going to agree to your pardon. The next thing they want to know is if you've ever been fired from a job since your incarceration. If you have to list why. Maybe you were fired for some unfair reason. Maybe you were fired because of layoffs, but you want to list if you ever left a job, and particularly they're asking if it's for misconduct. And if you have, got to list it. Whether it was an accusation that was unproven, you get space to explain exactly what happened. They want to know about your substance abuse and mental health history. Again, you have to be very honest here. If you've used drugs, right, other than prescription drugs, you want to list it here. And they want you to know the date and the use of your alcohol or drug abuse and the frequency. If you need more sheets, you may be able to add, you may be able to attach to it. They also want to know if you've ever been convicted of manufacturing drugs. Now, they're going to see that anyway, but they want you to list it on here. So don't leave anything off, because they'll have your GCIC. This is a great space if you do have any drugs in your background. They ask for your substance abuse treatment. Have you ever sought treatment? That can be a counselor, that could be time in jail that you received drug treatment, that can be the Narcotics Anonymous classes, anything that you need to do to explain what you did for substance abuse. If you have a conviction for drugs primarily, you need to make sure that you have listed somewhere where you've received substance abuse treatment, because what they want to know, are they pardoning someone who is a drug user and may have committed mistakes because of drugs, or if they are a drug dealer. That makes a humongous difference to the Department of Pardons and Paroles. Next, they're going to ask you about your financial information. Are there any debts? Are you currently delinquent on any debts? Are there any bankruptcies? They want you to list the number of debts that you have and the reason to fail to pay. Listen, folks, don't lie about this. They will have your social security number, so they'll be able to determine if you owe a creditor. Just be honest. They understand that the population of people who are required to get a pardon are people who want a pardon so they can get a job. And if you don't have a job, you can't pay your debts. So if you do have a debt that is 60 or 90 days old, you want to tell them about it, because they're going to find it anyway. They're going to run your credit so that they can determine it. They ask if you've ever been a party to a civil lawsuit. Doesn't mean that you're going to not get pardoned because somebody sued you. You can't stop someone from suing you, and if you need to sue somebody else, you can. Just because you have been convicted of a crime does not mean you can't. So please make sure that you list the court. They ask for the court, the date, and the disposition. Don't have that information? Go to the courthouse. Anytime you've had a case, you can go to the courthouse, give them your name, give them the name of the parties on the case, and they'll be able to give you the case number, the disposition, how the case ended up. You don't want to leave that information blank. My favorite part of the application, charitable activities. They want to know, what have you done for other people? You've been out of jail. Have you helped anyone else? And usually when I get to this question, I have clients that are kind of like, I don't know. But then when you dig a little deeper and I ask, well, have you ever done a back to school event? Have you ever given away free haircuts? Have you ever participated in a Thanksgiving turkey giveaway? And most people have. Those things count. But if you scratch your brain and you realize you have not done anything for anyone other than yourself, it's time for you to start kind of addressing those issues, because that will help you get a pardon. The good news is you can apply for a pardon anytime after those 5 years. So if you need to take 6 months and start serving other people so that you can get a good track record, you consider doing that so that you can put it on the application. The next 2 pages are both narratives. The first narrative that you can write in handwriting, it does not have to be typed. Obviously, you want to put your best foot forward, but if you misspell something or it's not perfect grammar, that's not what you need to worry about. They want to know what happened. Tell us why you were convicted of a crime in your own words. And I can tell you what they're looking for. Do you accept responsibility? If you turn in a 2-page letter explaining, I didn't do it, it was the man, he set me up, you're not going to get a pardon. But if you explain what happened, how you got in that circumstance, what your specific role was, they will consider that you have reflected on the crime, and they will use that to help determine if you can get a pardon. And finally, the justification for pardon. This is your ask. This is your final ask, where you say, this is why I need it. I'm a business owner now and I need to be able to get better credit, or I have a family and I'm trying to get a house. I have just changed my life, and just having this hanging over my head from 20 years ago is bothering me. All of those reasons are good reasons for you to be able to get a pardon. So you want to make sure that you take a moment and that you fill out all of the reasons that you believe that you should have your pardon application approved. Finally, there's a certification. This is a document. You take it over to get it notarized. You get it from a bank. Anywhere that there is a notary, you can go ahead and do that personal oath. And basically what you're saying is everything on the application is true. There are some additional forms that you sign, notarize, and send back. That just gives the Board of Pardon and Parole the permission to go out and speak to people on your behalf and verify the information that's in the file. And that's it. As simple as that. So it's an 11-page application, but it's all information you know. Listen, things are changing in America, and I wish people the best of luck. You know, I've seen people make some bad mistakes by pure accident. I've seen people who choose to make mistakes, but at the end of the day, when you've done the crime and you've served the time, you do have the right to get your record cleared. And so I hope that you all will to exercise that. Now, if you ever want to look me up, you can find me online at LaDawnJones.com. I'm happy to talk to you through my website. And I just hope this helps somebody. If you know somebody that has been convicted of a crime and would like to sit for 10 minutes and figure out how to get their records cleared, please share this with them. Thank y'all.